Welcome back to True Blue. Now we welcome into the studio men's tennis coach Brad Pearce and athletes Jonathan Sanchez and Thomas Shubert. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Coach, for you, it's a big challenge this year. You had just 2 returning players coming back to your squad. What were you thinking at the beginning of the season as you looked at this roster of new faces?
Well, we had a tournament in the fall, and it was a little bit of a rough tournament. And in fact, Thomas actually had a good tournament. But the others kind of got off to a slow start, and I was talking to my assistant, and we were saying, whoa, it's going to be a long season. But we had great improvement, during the fall and into the winter, and I'm really pleased with how we started this year.
Well, for you, Jonathan, you're one of the only returning players and the only senior on the team. What were you thinking as a leader with all these new faces coming in?
Well, it was kind of weird because I've always been the younger guy the last past years, and now I'm by myself, the senior, and it's been weird. It's been a lot of fun. I think I'm doing a pretty good job as a team captain, I guess, looking after the guys. But I think we've got a lot of talent on our team, and I think we're capable of doing great things this season.
I think sometimes new faces come in, and Jonathan, you can speak to this, and youth has this certain exuberance to it that you kind of push some of the older guys. And what do you feel that the freshmen have added to the squad?
I think Jonathan nailed it. Is say more depth, more talent. The youthful exuberance is there. It's there in everyday practice, and it's tough to avoid it. Sometimes it's tough to even keep it down. To stay focused. But that's why John and Cassidy are there. They provide more long-term view of the season, and tell us that we got matches coming up, and those are the ones we got to focus on. And that's how it's been going. So.
Well, Coach, for you guys are off to a good start, 4-1, and like you mentioned, you had the luxury of that kind of fall camp to get a look at your players in some tournaments. But a 4-1 record to start, how does that meet or exceed your expectations?
Well, I'm thrilled. I knew we had great talent. I'd recruited every one of these players and had watched them play, prior to coming to BYU, and so I knew they were good. However, it's a big adjustment from junior tennis to college. And I think, as I said, the fall tournament was a good test, and we realized that, hey, we need to work hard during the fall and get these guys ready. And I think people weren't expecting quite the results early on, but I think it's a result of our hard work and these guys, coming up to speed really quickly. I've kind of said that, we can't afford to have freshmen this year. You lost out on your freshman season because we expect to win now. And they've done that, so I've been really proud of them.
Well, you guys have a couple of matches coming up February 15th. You hit the road. The weather is always an issue this time of year. How hard is it to be indoors and then having to compete on the road? You don't have your next home match until March. Well,
that's a big challenge, especially in tennis, moving from indoors here at altitude to outdoors at sea level. I don't think people realize with tennis that the ball moves slower when we go down to sea level, and points go a lot longer, and so it's kind of a conditioning factor and a difference in speed. So it takes about a day and a half to really kind of get our bearings, and so we try to get down there early and get used to the sunshine again and a little slower conditions. So we plan on leaving on Thursday to be ready for a match on Friday.
Well, Coach Pearce, you played at a very high level professionally in the 90s and really made your mark in doubles where you won 4 titles. I was watching the Australian Open, and I was watching Serena and Venus Williams play doubles, and it just was remarkable to me, the communication and kind of how in tune you had to be with your partner. How have you been able to get your other players, playing both well on singles, but have that connection on doubles?
Well, that's been a challenge a little bit for us at the beginning of the year. We lost the doubles point in our first 3 matches, and we finally got the doubles point against Santa Clara. And I think it's just trying to find the right combinations, and doubles is, kind of been likened to marriage, is that you have to find the right chemistry between the guys that are playing with each other and getting them communicating with each other and kind of knowing where each other is going to be. And so it's, it takes a little time to kind of get the teams gelling, but I think we're, I'll cross my fingers, but I think we're there. We were pleased with getting the doubles points against Santa Clara, and so we hope to continue.
Well, Jonathan, you've had a great doubles career here, and you and Cassidy Mears teamed up. How do you feel like that's become a strength for you?
Well, when I first came in as a freshman, I was not very good at doubles. I mean, I was okay, but Brad has helped me so much with my doubles and Cass, and he's working with the freshmen now, and I see, you know, huge improvements out of all the guys since the beginning of the year, and I think it's just a matter of time before we start getting the doubles point on a consistent basis. So.
Oh, great. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in here. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
We're going to have a great story about your professional career and hopefully maybe what was one good piece of advice you learned as a pro that you're trying to pass on to these guys.
Well, you know, one thing I enjoyed as a pro was not only the tennis aspect, but a great way to make a living, but, you know, also got to see the world. And I think, you know, these guys have the opportunity to not only travel around the country, but, you know, some of them, if they move on and play at the tour level, they'll be able to, you know, experience a lot of different cultures and different people. And I think that's one of the great things about tennis. It's such a worldwide sport.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck. Their next home match is coming up March 7th, and you are welcome to attend that.